And we are live.
Are we?
We are.
Okay, we did it.
Episode 3, or Transmission 3.
Yeah. I guess technically episode 2, right?
Yeah,
For all our loyal fans keeping track.
besides the intro. I know there'll be somebody to correct us later.
I hope so. Honestly, that's really what we need. So, what's up, man?
Man, I'm just living life to the best of my ability. Enjoying Spooktober, as I know you are.
Oh, yeah. Doing it as big as we can.
We do it big.
Yep. So, it's been a long time since we last spoke. Probably like 16 hours or something. So,
Yeah, yesterday.
what you been into?
Well, I went with my best friend to the movies over the weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
What'd you
I don't know. Tell us what we saw.
say? We saw Terrifier 2, and that just wasn't enough. We watched and we thought, one movie is good. You know what's better? Catching a fucking noon matinee of Smile as well. So we got a little bit to talk about today.
We double dipped.
Yeah, we double dipped. I drove 2 hours to sleep on your floor and watch Terrifier 2, and I figure might as well get more bang for my buck. It was a good time.
Was a good time. And this is coming from you, the guy who said you don't like going to the movies anymore.
Yeah, I've put my foot in my mouth a little bit because literally the first episode we did, I said not really a big movies guy, and that still rings true to some extent because I think the experience we had at the movies over the weekend was abnormal, right? We went to a cinema with like all these nice plush recliners and like good food, and we had drinks at a bar in the cinema beforehand and stuff like that.
The first theater.
Yeah, the first theater, and that was rad. It was a really good time. Everybody was quiet, and just some chuckles whenever Art did something silly in Terrifier 2. And then the second theater was completely empty. There was literally 4 other people in the theater when we saw Smile during a matinee. So, you
That's
know,
the way I enjoy it.
yeah, it was good. I mean, obviously, it's a superior experience to have that huge booming sound system and the big projector. I guess do they still use projectors? How does that work?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, whatever. The big screen and the good sound. The Black Adam advertisements.
Plenty of
Lord knows there
those.
were many. Yeah, plenty of
I
those.
think there was 4.
I think there was 4 for Terrifier, man.
Yeah.
And there was probably another one, maybe even another one for Smile. I don't remember. It was a lot. They really wanted me to watch Black Adam, which I'm not going to.
Nah, probably not. Not really my thing. Not a big superhero movie guy. Oddly enough,
Yeah,
for being the nerd that I am.
he's a big superhero guy, just not a big superhero movie guy. Um, I mean, I like some of the stuff the MCU has done. I've watched a lot of the MCU movies, but yeah, I don't know. I don't go crazy for them or nothing.
Do you think that there's a chance for Terrifier to enter the MCU realm?
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but the after credits scene uh did hint toward that.
Yeah.
Um
I thought
Ant-Man,
maybe Doctor Strange showed up.
yeah, a little bit. Ant-Man crawled up Doctor Strange's pee hole. Uh and Art was a witness to it. Not to spoil anything. Spoiler, we'll tag that, but yeah, maybe we'll see him in the MCU. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
At least maybe the Sonyverse movies.
Yeah, I think there's a chance.
Hmm. Got to taste a little drink here.
What you drinking on?
Well, a good friend of mine. I don't know why we keep doing this bit because it's obvious that we're talking about each other. But
We've been doing it for about 12 years, so we'll just keep it up.
um, you recommended Four Roses small batch.
Mm.
Hey, I gotta say, good fucking rec because this is delicious.
It
What was
is
it? A $35
yeah,
bottle?
it's a great mid-shelf bourbon.
Absolutely fantastic. Way better than Kentucky Gentleman, if you can believe it.
I've got Buffalo Trace.
So while I was at your house, you let me try Buffalo Trace, and oh my god, It's good. For anyone
Liquid
out
gold.
there that if you can get a hold of a bottle, especially for a reasonable price, do it. Don't hesitate. God, that Buffalo Trace is delicious. It tastes like melted Werther's. It's so good. Um, so, what did you think about Terrifier, the first one?
Ah, Terrifier 2.
Nah, the first one. Let's go over that first. I
Okay, okay.
think.
Rewinding a bit, taking it back
Yeah,
a notch.
yeah.
I really enjoyed Terrifier 1.
Sure.
Thought it was a
Me too.
great movie. I I didn't think it was like I just saw it. I think it popped up on Netflix, some streaming service. I was in a horror
Yeah,
mood,
sure.
as me and the wife usually are, and I was like, "Oh, evil clown movie. I'm in." Didn't know anything about it. Did not know it was going to be the gore fest that it
Yeah.
was.
It's schlocky.
Yeah.
I think is a good word. It's splattery. Um, I also really liked that movie. It's misanthropic. There's no plot at
Mm-mm.
all. I described it recently to a coworker as just vignettes of brutality. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
I kept feeling like I should know who this evil clown was, and I didn't.
mhm.
Knew nothing.
So Art was in another movie before Terrifier. I'm sure you're aware. It was a anthology series, a movie called All Hallows Eve. I've not seen All Hallows Eve. I don't know if you have.
No, maybe we need to watch that.
Yeah, that's something we should probably do. I imagine. He's like not. I don't think he's the main focus of that movie. I think he's kind of the framing device that they use to tie the stories together or something like that. I'm not sure, but he was um, in a movie before Terrifier. He wasn't played by David Howard Thornton as he is now. He was for Terrifier 1 and 2. Which that actor is amazing. His physicality when portraying Art is just it's phenomenal.
It is fantastic. Like, if they recognized movies like that, he would get an Academy Award.
Absolutely. The only other physical, like when you think of great physical actors, you know, there's people like Buster Keaton. Doug Jones is a big one. Like last time we went over Hocus Pocus 2, and I told Jordan while we were together, I kicked myself in the ass for not gushing more about how much I love Doug Jones, because I do. He's one of the greatest physical actors of all time. He's amazing in everything that he's in. um, and I think that David Thornton here, he deserves a space in that conversation. His portrayal of Art is just magnificent. I mean, it's art. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, a character with no speaking lines at all.
But oh man, just enthralling to watch. Um, and that absolutely rings true. Maybe more so for Terrifier 2. I guess that's how we'll segue into that. What did you think about Terrifier 2?
I like Terrifier 2. I thought that I knew what I was getting into watching
Yeah.
Terrifier 2 after seeing Terrifier 1 a few years ago, but that movie went off the rails a little bit. Not necessarily in a bad way, just in a way I didn't completely understand.
Upon,
I'm not a smart guy.
yeah, I think some of that was like purposeful obfuscation. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that word by the director, who I believe his name is pronounced Damien Leone. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Ah, good old Damien Leone.
Yeah. Uh, I think some of that was on purpose. I'm not sure that we were supposed to understand everything 100%. But
There was definitely more story trying to be developed in Terrifier 2 than there was Terrifier 1.
yeah, absolutely. So we're going to keep this spoiler free for a portion. And then we'll let you know when we're going to hit you with spoilers so you can kind of. I'll timestamp it in the description on YouTube.
And you'll also be able to look up here, and I'll put a big banner that says spoiler.
Yeah. So if you're scrolling through, you'll be able to see that and avoid it. But we're going to stay spoiler free for now. What were we just saying? I wanted
Terrifier 2.
to say that. What about it? I lost the plot on myself.
Oh, the misdirection, not knowing where the story was going.
Right. So yeah, there was a lot of weird plot stuff going on that we'll get into in the spoiler section. But if you weren't maybe the biggest fan of Terrifier because of the lack of plot, which I can see. I can see why. You know, I get that. We're like gorehounds. We like practical effects. It's something that's very close to our hearts. But if you're not that way, or you know, you value plot more than you know other parts of a movie, this one does have more of a plot. And characters too. Terrifier 1 didn't really have any characters to root for.
I mean, what? Terrifier 1 had, what, 7 actors, maybe?
Wasn't a lot, eh? There's like the two.
What's the buddy count? Let's look it up.
Um,
I'm interested. I want to say 5 or 6. I could be wrong.
uh, why is this not 10, including if you want to include art?
Okay.
It says this doesn't have the. For some reason, doesn't have the information yet for Terrifier 2, even though it's been out for like a week now. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of characters to care about. The kind of final girl character that they push, and they're like, this is the final girl or whatever. They kill her off halfway through the movie, which I think was rad. I think that was a brave thing to do. It was.
I like that kind of twist.
Yeah, it changed up the slasher game a little bit, which is cool. Kind of like when he uses a gun. You know, it's the same thing. You don't expect a slasher villain to do that. There are rules. You know what I mean? Think like Scream. They talk about it in that movie. There are rules, and art breaks a lot of those. And one of those is killing the final girl halfway through the movie.
Spoiler for Terrifier 1.
Yeah, but that movie sold. Like, if you're watching this and you haven't seen Terrifier 1, that's on you, dude. You can't blame us for that one. Terrifier 2, the effects were still great, right? The effects were great. The acting could be a little hokey here and there, but it's a low-budget movie. I don't know if we're going to be able to avoid spoilers for much longer, so this is probably your final warning, I imagine. There is a final girl in Terrifier 2, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I guess, you know what? Yeah, spoilers off the table. I mean, yeah, we're in it now.
Yeah, we're deep.
So, yeah, I think the final girl that you would assume is the final girl turns out to be the final girl.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the twist from Terrifier 1.
Yeah.
Which I didn't understand a lot of. I know that they were trying to make her this main character, the savior, I don't know, whatever she was made out to be with the whole warrior Valkyrie get up. But I didn't understand it. They didn't give me enough.
In the movie, I'm assuming you've seen Terrifier 2 or don't care about spoilers if you're here. In the movie, it's explained that like the family at the center of focus at the movie. There's a young girl, a teenage girl, her early teen probably brother, maybe 12 or 13 or something like that, and the mom. Their father / husband has recently died. And you know, deep into the movie, this is a long movie. 2 hours? Is it 2.5 hours? Something like that?
Yeah, at least 2.5.
Yeah, I think it was 2.5, unless that was just our theater being weird. But you know, it's explained pretty deep in the movie that the father liked to draw, and he designed this character based around his daughter. And then they find the sketchbook, and there's like detailed images of some of the kills from Terrifier 1 and like Art the Clown. And it's implied that, well, something's implied. I'm still not 100% sure. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure if the father was creating these things by drawing them in the book, or if he was like prophetic. You would think, because the dad, I believe, committed suicide, right?
Yeah.
He died either way. But you would think if that were the case, he'd want to stick around and maybe help his teenage daughter out. But I guess not. I just kind of dipped.
I thought they were setting it up that he was Art.
Yeah, and upon looking around online, you're not the only one that thought that. That was a pretty common, I guess, misdirection. Well, not, I guess, it you know, it's not.
I don't think it was an intentional misdirection. I think it's just poor writing. That could be
I'm not
just
sure.
me.
I'm not sure if it was intentional or not. I feel like there were a lot of breadcrumbs that either are going to come back to play in another Terrifier movie, or were just purposefully sort of strewn on the ground to throw you off or whatever. The plot was very. The plot was like fourth or fifth movie in a slasher series kind of situation, like in Halloween when they introduced the like Cult of Thorn and stuff. That's what I kept saying to Jordan. It felt like that. It was very odd. In Terrifier 1, it's kind of up in the air for a lot of the movie if Art is a supernatural being or if he's just a guy that likes to do horrible things to people. And then at the end, you obviously get the answer to that. And in Terrifier 2, he's very firmly a supernatural being. Dude takes kill shot after kill shot in this movie, eh?
Yeah, it was. Which, again, I mean, I didn't know a whole lot going in, but I did not think he was supernatural.
In one?
Yeah, at all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, most of the movie doesn't really give you any indication that he is. It's not until the very end that the supernatural event occurs and it's obvious. Terrifier 2, it's obvious the entire way through. I mean, again, spoilers. The opening scene of this movie is him like plucking out someone's eye and trying to cram it back in his own skull, which looked fucking rad.
Yeah, pretty cool.
But that's not typically something a human is able to do, especially one that just woke up from a slab in a morgue. The plot is there. It added something. It gave you characters to care about and like a thread to keep the kills kind of contained within reason, I suppose. Whereas Terrifier 1, like I said, was just kind of vignettes of brutality, which I didn't hate, and I was fine with it. It was kind of a showcase of practical effects, right?
Yeah, that's how I felt it as a love letter, practical effect horror movies.
Yeah, and the budget that I keep seeing online for that first movie was like $30,000, and that movie looks great for $30,000. I mean, some of the gore, the Saw scene for anyone who's seen it, is just absurd for 30. I mean, damn.
What was the budget on Terrifier 2?
Well, I can't find a definitive answer. I know that the director did an Indiegogo campaign that raised $250,000. How much more was maybe from independent investors or whatever? I don't know. I can't say like that information as far as I know isn't out yet. But he had at least $250K, and the movie, I would say, it looks like it was made with $250K. That's still a pretty small budget for a movie like this, especially one that's 2.5 hours long, has as many kills, as many
Brutal.
absolutely wacky prosthetics.
Yeah. Some of the kill scenes in Terrifier 2 were absolutely brutal.
Mm-hmm. There's a specific scene that I feel like a lot of people are going to be talking about that you described as akin to Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah.
From The Simpsons, and that's accurate. Like the gore and the violence is so over the top and cartoonish, which again, I like.
Yeah, I don't want practicality and realism in every horror movie.
Yeah.
That's not what I need. I want to be entertained.
Yeah.
And that movie will entertain you.
I think so. I think it was a very entertaining movie. Cool little Easter egg. So the teenager in this film, oh gosh, I'm trying to find him real quick in IMDb, and I'm not going to be able to, and I feel bad. Elliot Fulham. He is not unknown, I guess, in the music scene. So his parents, we've been to cons that his parents were set up at in Artist Alley. They're called Little Punk People.
Okay.
And they do these really rad, like Tim Burton-y portraits and stuff like that of people, commissions. It looks great. Their art is, and we've seen them, like I said, at cons. And their son Elliot, he's in this movie. He's one of the main characters in this movie. Even he's been interviewing bands forever, dude. I've seen him interview a bunch of different people. The one that sticks out the most is he interviewed Doyle from the Misfits and Gorgeous Frankenstein. Whatever.
That's really cool.
Yeah, kid knows his stuff, man. And like,
it's the little brother, right?
Yeah, the little brother. It's cool to see somebody that's that wrapped up in the scene. I mean, even if, horror and metal kind of go hand in hand. They just sort of do. And it's cool to see somebody from the scene get like those ups. That's neat. But there were some cool Easter eggs to that in his bedroom. We spotted a couple of posters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we had Carnifex, Testament, Overkill, which is I'm a big fan of. I like thrash. A Nuclear Blast Records sticker. I think a Children of Bodom maybe
Oh
sticker.
yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. But that's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
So it
Terrifier 2.
was good.
Yeah, it had a really odd post credit scene.
Yeah. We were joking in the beginning about Marvel and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not true. But you described that scene. How would you?
Well, so the credits roll in the theater, and we all walk out. As I do, I'm not a terribly patient person.
Yeah.
Then boom, you hear the screen start up, and there's a post credit scene going. So it's 1 a.m, but let's go check it out. So we all pile back in there in the hallway, or the little walkway of the theater, if you will. And I don't know how I would describe it other than a lady giving birth to a clown head.
Yeah. So the
No idea what that meant.
the survivor from Terrifier, I'm never gonna recall her name.
No.
But the one that sort of attacks the woman on the news segment in the first movie, it shows it in this movie and talks about it as well. She's in a mental hospital, and Art dies. In the sequence of the movie as it goes, and then that woman births Art's head with an umbilical cord.
Yeah.
That
So-
was an odd scene.
Is she giving birth to a new Art the Clown? Who will
I
just be
assume so.
fully grown, I'm assuming.
Well, it was just I'm wondering if he'll like absorb her or something to create a new body, like a weird in utero twin situation or something. I'm not sure how that's gonna go, man, but I'm interested to see. I guess.
I hope we see something, because by God, I need answers after that movie. And for
Yeah,
anyone watching us and will watch Terrifier 2 or has watched Terrifier 2, I know that you've got to feel the same way. And if you are smarter than us, which you probably are, leave a comment, tell us something, because we're a little lost on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was definitely entertained for the 2.5-hour runtime, and I had a great experience. I thought it was a great movie.
there's a couple of things, two more things we got to talk about before we go. Right, one is got to be the scene in like the Spirit Halloween when Art's trying on like the sunglasses and playing with the horn and stuff.
Oh yeah, the googly eyes.
Yeah, everyone in the theater was laughing. You can just Google like Art the Clown sunglasses and it'll show up. But it was like so it was just a really good bit of physical comedy. David Thornton could absolutely carry a modern sort of Buster Keaton style, or what's the fucking dude with the Hitler mustache? I can't believe I'm blanking. Charlie Chaplin. He could easily do a comedy movie like that, and I would watch it. And the little girl, right?
Oh yeah, which we don't know who that is.
Well, it's implied that it's the first person Art killed. That's all that we really
Right.
get in the movie.
Yeah, for anyone like, huh? There's a little girl evil clown running around with Art, who is just as creepy.
I would say more so.
Yeah.
Art is a fucking terrifying villain for a horror movie, but that girl is fucking horrifying. Especially the first scene you see where she just like shits, I guess, this vile black goo all over the floor of a laundromat.
That was
Like from the jump,
weird.
it's gross. Yeah, it was weird and it was gross and it made me very uncomfortable and very unsettled. But damn it, it was effective. So I guess do you got any any more thoughts on Terrifier 2, or should we move on? We're 24 minutes in and there was a lot to talk about with that movie.
I mean, yeah, I feel like we could just sit here and talk about it for hours like we usually do anything. But, save a little bit in case people haven't seen it yet. They're going to, but
True.
we do recommend it. Kills are great,
Absolutely.
blood and gore are awesome. Story's a little confusing. That's our takeaway.
Yeah. I give it like a cool clown nose out of 5.
Yeah,
sure.
that's a little generous, but yeah.
All right. So the next day, as we said, caught a matinee of Smile. What'd you think of that? We have differing opinions here. I know.
Yeah, we do. I thought Smile was okay. I thought it was a
Whiskey's so good.
fun horror movie. I didn't think it was anything special.
Right. I think that the comparisons to It Follows are probably impossible to avoid.
I thought It Follows was far superior.
Right. I disagree. And I'm not really sure why. Because I did like It Follows. I didn't like It Follows actually the first time I saw it, but on a rewatch I actually liked it a lot more. I think Smile was a better movie. I think it was scarier. I told
Well, I
Jordan.
think it had a bigger budget.
Probably. I think that's probably fair to say. But, excuse me. I told Jordan as we were leaving the theater, I don't know why, but I think this was one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
I don't know why. I don't
know either.
I don't see it, man.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm not usually scared. Like, I usually don't get scared when I see a movie. Like, I haven't gotten scared since I was prepubescent at a horror movie. I mean, you become desensitized. It's not like I'm not like fucking cool and tough, dude. You just like you watch enough horror movies and eventually you get desensitized to it. And Lord knows I've watched enough horror movies to get desensitized. But this one just, man, it really creeped me the fuck out. It creeped me out. I'm not a therapist as the character in this movie is, but I'm in an adjacent field to an extent that something like this could reasonably happen to me in real life, and maybe that was part of it. But the fucking uncanny like smiles that people give, all of the characters, by the way, who had to portray Caitlin Stacy is the name of the first girl in the doctor's office. I want particular ups to her. She did an amazing job at just being fucking creepy. I don't know. It just really wigged me out. Like I said, there's been a little space between me and the movie now. It's been about a week. And it's probably not as spooky as I thought initially, I guess. Or maybe that's not fair. Maybe it's just that, I've had time to sort of calm down from the adrenaline or whatever. But damn, that movie creeped me out, dude.
Yeah, I really didn't find it creepy. I think there weren't many jump scares in that movie. There were what, handful?
I'm not sure. It wasn't many. The camera work was nice.
Yeah, the camera work was spot on. I think the best jump scare probably is the one from the trailer. I went back and watched the trailer after we watched the movie, and yeah, the when she's sitting in her car, her sister walks out, and her head falls by the window.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
I thought that was really good.
That was an effective scare, yeah. Because I didn't expect it at all.
Yeah. Didn't like the fact the cat died.
I was gonna bring that up. So me and Jordan went with our wives. And I was between my wife and Jordan. And when spoilers by the way, when she walks into the kid's birthday party, she's holding a box. My wife leans over and goes, "Cat's in that fucking box." And I was like, you're gay, you gotta be fucking right. And sure enough, she was. I didn't see it coming from a mile away, but my wife called it immediately.
I didn't either.
Yeah, didn't see it. She knew. She leaned over, was like, "Cat's in the box." So for anyone wondering what's in the box, it's cat, apparently. Which, yeah, when we sat down, like the first scene with the cat, I leaned over to Jordan. I was like, "If anything happens to that cat, I'm walking out." I didn't, but damn it, I was disappointed.
So, we're just diving into the movie now. Did she kill the cat?
I don't know.
What do you think personally? I think she did.
Yeah, my guess would be that she killed the cat. Um, I guess the question is, did she do it because of mental illness, or did she do it because the monster was like sort of possessing her to do
I
it?
think she was being kind of possessed because there were a few more scenes in the movie where she kind of lost focus and didn't remember where she was or what she was doing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Actually, now that I think about it, there was a scene where she was doing something and kind of nodded off, and then woke up in the middle of the road with a car honking at her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really put that
So
together
that
until you're
immediately put in my head everything crazy, wild that she is doing or getting accused of, or she thinks the demon is doing. It's her.
yeah, yeah, you're probably right. Um, so the movie is kind of a portrait or a metaphor for generational trauma and you know hereditary mental illnesses and things like that, which again, my a family member of mine had schizophrenia, so I was terrified for the longest time that I was going to end up developing schizophrenia. And luckily, it looks like that's probably not going to be the case. But that's a fear of mine that this movie really tapped into, and I think it does a good job of being a metaphor for those kinds of mental illnesses and trauma and things like that, right?
Yeah, I think that's a fair takeaway. I mean, that's definitely the vibe I got that it was putting out.
Mm-hmm. The ending. What do you
Thought
think about
that
the ending?
I thought the ending was a little rushed and not as well put together as the rest of the movie was.
I agree.
So I mean,
Um,
yeah, she shows up at her childhood home, dealing with the fact of the trauma with her mom, and kind of just has a little battles it out in her head with the demon,
yeah,
and then it gives you the old, cast the line out. Oh, she's safe. Then reels you back in, like that scene in Friday the 13th with the
yeah.
boat.
There's something specific. Oh yeah, That's a good point. I hadn't made that connection either. But you're right. It's exactly like that. Um, there's a there's like a creepy pasta story floating around somewhere on the internet about like this haunted house that it's supposed to be like the scariest haunted house and no one finishes it or whatever, and like this kid finishes it, and then when he like leaves the haunted house and he's like exhausted and he finally did it and he like opens his front door and it's just another room of the haunted house, and it reminded me a lot of that.
That's
Um,
that's really cool. I like that.
yeah, I'm not saying that this film ripped that off or anything like that. Two independent writers could easily come up with that concept, but
Yeah.
it did remind me of that. The double ending, as it were, I guess. And man, what a shame for Joel too.
Man, my boy Joel.
I feel bad for Joel, dude. That was rough.
Dude, he risked his career and everything to help this woman who was his ex and
Mm-hmm.
just didn't get it.
Sosie Bacon. Um,
Is that a breakfast item?
that is the main actress, the therapist. How old would you say that she is? This is a credit to the movie, but how old would you say that woman is?
35.
I mean, it's fair enough. She is 30,
Okay. Wow.
but the like they do makeup. They do a lot of like makeup work to make her look like she has been fucking through the trenches. I mean, she's obviously a pretty woman in her prime, as it were, but the makeup that they put on her definitely made her look like an exhausted victim of mental health.
Yeah, I like it
and
in
or
movies whenever you see the main character, they're clean cut, they're all cleaned up, prime of their life, right? And then
Mhm.
as the movie goes, you just see them degrading.
Yeah,
A
like the
kind of
fly.
visual representation of their struggle. Yeah, the fly. Poor guy.
Yeah. Um,
Plot twist, end of smile, she turns out to be a fly.
she's got 96 tears and 96 eyes. If you get that reference, I'll buy you a $10 game on Steam. You're just
They're
gonna cheat.
yeah, they're just gonna look it up. They're gonna put
Yeah,
it in
you're
the
just gonna go to it
comment.
and cheat. You cheated. Um, Small was good. I liked it. It was scary.
It's a fun movie. I really enjoy. I mean, I got to see it with you, your wife, and my wife, and you know, I can't have a bad time.
Yeah. You know, out with the boys.
Yeah,
Including our wives. They're the boys too.
yeah. Smile's fantastic. I mean, I know I said it was a mid movie. That's when I watch a horror movie. If it's mid, it's fantastic. There's a lot of bad horror movies out there.
A good, like, I don't know, man. We're not gonna rate stuff on this show.
No, everything's 10 out of 10.
If I were going to rate a movie, like a 6 out of 10 is not a bad rating from me. You know what I mean? Like some of my favorite things I would rate 6 or 7. Like Ocarina of Time is easily a 7 out of 10 game, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's just the fact is, like, not a lot of things are 10 out of 10s.
No.
You know what I mean? And I think people get way too hung up on like those review scores. Like a 5 out of 10 should be that was fine. You know?
Yeah, in 10 years from now people are gonna be like, oh, Analog Bog only rated that 5 out of 10. I'm not watching it.
Yeah. I'm not into really rating things. So we're not gonna do it. We're just gonna thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, either we like it or we don't. And
yeah.
I liked Smile. I like Terrifier too.
Same.
Yeah.
Both great movies. You're gonna have to carry the next conversation because, unfortunately, I did not finish this one.
Didn't finish what?
Hellraiser
Thinking?
2.
Oh.
Hellraiser.
Okay, I was like, man, I'm losing the plot here.
Yeah.
Hellraiser 2. Okay. Oh, no, not 2. Hellraiser.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. New Hellraiser just dropped. I think we brought that up on the last episode. I immediately watched it that night. And it was okay. It was I would put it as good as Hellraiser 1.
Okay.
But it's nothing special though. If you go your entire life without seeing this one and you've seen Hellraiser 1, I think you're fine. You've done good.
So I unfortunately DNF'd this movie, and not for any reason. I was just really tired, and the movie is kind of a slow starter.
Oh, it's a slow burn up until the last 30 minutes, I think.
And I like those slow burn kind of horror movies. You know, we're big fans of A24 over here in the Bog. And all their movies are pretty slow burn like that. It's just, man, I don't know. I wasn't in the right headspace for the movie at the time, I guess. I probably will finish it eventually.
I didn't like the main characters. Really?
Yeah. I watched about half of the movie, I think, and in that time, I never really got attached to any of them.
No, I didn't at all. I thought the best part of the movie was the female Pinhead. I think she looked fantastic, looked great. I really liked the design work of all the Cenobites. I thought the Cenobites were great. Very spooky.
I've seen screenshots of Jamie Clayton as Pinhead, and some of the other Cenobites. The Gasp in particular, I think, was really cool. As I'm currently seeing that they're called. But yeah, I think Jamie Clayton did a great job portraying Pinhead from what I've seen, and the art direction did a great job with the makeup and everything like that. This is kind of a closer. I mean, it's been said all over the internet, so you're not going to be surprised by anything we're saying here. But I guess this is a closer interpretation of the Hellbound Heart story that Clive Barker wrote, that the Hellraiser franchise and this movie was based on and stuff. I have not read The Hellbound Heart. I've read some Clive Barker, like the Books of Blood, and I read a bit of Weave World. I'm not sure. I think I DNF'd that book too, unfortunately. But all in all, I like Clive Barker's work and stuff. Very horny, very homosexual, very very gory. Nothing to not enjoy, really. It seems like they did a good job putting that to film.
Yeah, it's not. It's not nearly as bloody, gory as Terrifier 2, or not a high body count. nothing like that. I just, just kind of wanted to see where they went with the story, and I thought that was fun. But all in all, I finished the movie, and I was like, would have been fun if I never watched it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I
But
can't really speak to
I
it.
don't hope this kills off Hellraiser. I hope they make another one. I hope they keep pumping these things out because I'll sit down and watch them eventually.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'll get around to finishing it, and I'm sure it's gonna be good.
I know something a little different that we just watched and just came out this
Mm.
week for any of you anime fans out there. Chainsaw Man finally made its anime debut.
Have you read any of the manga?
No.
Me neither. What'd you think about the first episode?
So, my only familiarity with Chainsaw Man was one, seeing clips on the internet of the manga, and two, bunch of people dressed up as Chainsaw Man at anime conventions and random convention as expos that my wife and I go to a lot. So I had no idea what a guy in a business suit with a literal chainsaw for a head and chainsaw arms had to do with anything. But anytime there's a chainsaw involved, I'm here for it. So I knew I wanted to check this anime out. Tuned in, was not disappointed. I thought it was beautifully done. The artwork and animation I thought was fantastic. Story, didn't know what it was going to be. Not disappointed. Sort of your typical Japanese anime storyline. I've seen it, there's always demons and stuff in a lot of animes. It's nothing new. And the guy's hunting them.
Yeah. Um, I have to agree with really everything you said. I'm immediately intrigued by the Devil Hunter like organization. I can't remember what they were called exactly, but there seems to be a government, conglomerate that are hunting these demons, devils, whatever they're called. The little dog with the
Oh,
chainsaw
dude.
face,
Chainsaw guinea pig, man.
Pochita, something like that.
He adorable.
Oh my god,
So cute.
just the cutest
My
man.
wife melted for him.
Oh, absolutely. I knew she would. I am excited to spend money I don't have to buy a plush of that character.
Oh,
Just
hands
it's
down.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my guts plush from Kill la Kill.
And I'm also wondering, is he gone or not?
I don't. Yeah, I hope
I
not.
hope not. I need more chainsaw guinea pig.
Yeah, he's great, man. Undeniably great. Dingy, you know. Um,
Great anime protagonist.
yeah, just wants a girlfriend so bad.
Dude, the guy just wants a woman he can play video games with and eat bread with jam.
With jam.
I mean,
With jam.
he knows what life's all about.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes. I've specifically avoided reading the manga. I don't read a ton of manga anyway, but the manga app that I use, I just use the Shonen Jump app. I'm not trying to like gatekeep my cool secret manga app or anything, but it gets advertised on there a lot. I've had the opportunity and I've wanted to read it, but I just really wanted to save it for because I just knew it was going to look so good in motion. Kind of like Initial D. We're big fans of Initial D, and like the story is good in Initial D. Don't get me wrong, but I mostly just like watching ugly CGI cars drift around corners.
Listening to
And
Eurobeat.
yeah, listening to Yobi, I knew that Chainsaw Man was going to look rad in motion, and I wasn't wrong. There's a couple of scenes, not fight scenes if I recall, but there's a couple of scenes where like the sort of CGI animation gets a little bit choppy, but it wasn't anything to like ruin it.
I didn't have a
Most of the
problem.
animation looked great. Yeah, most of it looked great, for sure.
Yeah, I thought the gore was cool when he's just flinging around, chopping up zombies.
Oh, heard a guinea pig in the background.
Yeah. My guinea pigs are big fans.
Yeah, they're big fans. You should show some of them on camera sometime, maybe.
I will, yeah. Maybe next episode I'll bring one of them out.
Yeah, they're cuties. I'm sure Tiffany will love that too.
Oh yeah, she eats it up.
Yeah. So that's everything we watched, really.
Yeah, and for anyone that watches this or listens, if you have any recommendations on, give us a movie to watch, and we'll watch it, talk about it, tell you our
Mhm.
thoughts. Even if you probably don't care at all what we think, but or you don't want us to elaborate on more things, let us know. We're just two guys shooting it.
There's two reasons that people look up other people's opinions on the internet. Either they want to be validated, which, that's fine, or they want to argue, which is also fine. I'll do both with you. I don't care. if I
Absolutely.
if I like a movie you like, I'll stroke your ego for enjoying it. And if I think a movie you like sucks, we'll argue about it. I don't care. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, I'll tell you you're wrong with completely unvalid reasons.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I guess we could talk about a couple of cool trailers we saw. These movies aren't out yet, but when we were watching Terrifier and Smile, some of this had overlap. There
Oh,
was
Black Adam.
Black Adam. Yeah, we're really excited. Excited for Black Adam. No, Pray for the Devil looks cool.
Yeah, love possession movies.
I like possession movies. They skeeve me out really bad. I was raised religious, but no longer am. So possession movies again tap into a very good fear of mine.
Sounds like you're religious then.
Is that right? I'm definitely scared that I'm wrong. You know what I mean? I'm agnostic. I'm not like an atheist or anything, but I'd hate to be wrong because, whoo boy,
A lot of stake in that, huh?
yeah, the afterlife doesn't look fun in like any depiction. But yeah, Pray for the Devil. That looks pretty cool, man. Bones and All. We saw an ad for that, I believe.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wanted to look more into that movie.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet, which I liked in Dune.
Love Dune.
And who else was in this? For some reason, I thought Anya Taylor-Joy was in this, but I'm way off. She's in the next movie we're gonna talk about. So Bones and All, yeah, it looks really cool. Just like weird cannibalism kind of thing. I don't know, looks neat. Looks up my alley.
Yeah, I want to watch that. I want to watch both.
Yeah, for sure. And the last one I remember that looked really interesting. This one does have Anya Taylor-Joy. The Menu. Do you remember that one?
No.
That was the one. Maybe we didn't see an ad for it in Terrifier. Maybe I saw it somewhere else. But it's about like some fancy pants rich people that take like a cruise to an island to enjoy this like really expensive meal by this world renowned chef and stuff. And then murder ensues. The menu is like
People.
I don't know. I don't know if it didn't really hint at any cannibalism, but it did hint that like everyone was gonna die in some way or another, and like the people that were gonna die, it was like hinted in the food that they were eating and stuff like that. Like maybe one person would get some food with just a clue that they were gonna die or someone else was gonna die or whatever. I don't know. Looks interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that trailer when we get off here for sure.
Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities comes out October 25th, and that's got a stacked cast, at least two of because it's an anthology like sort of thing. At least two of the stories they're doing in that show are based on Lovecraft stories, which again we're fans of here in the Bog.
Big fans.
Goes without saying, he's a bad guy. He's a terrible person. Whatever. We know, we don't have to tread that ground.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. He's a bad dude, had bad opinions. His stories are spooky.
It's a long time ago. I like his writing.
Yeah. That's going to be cool. I'm a big fan of, specifically, both of the stories that they're doing, too. They're doing Dreams in the Witch House, and
it's a good one.
It is a really good one and very underrated. And also Pickman's Model.
Okay.
I don't know if either of those have been adapted on screen at all before.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, not that I know of either. Crispin Glover, Rupert Grint, Andrew Lincoln. I mean, sounds like it's going to be pretty good. I love Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. He's been trying to make a Mountains of Madness movie forever, man, and I wish he could.
Wish he would. Yeah, I'll help him.
Get that. We at the Bog, if you're seeing this, Guillermo, we will help.
Yeah.
Don't. I mean, he makes banger after banger, though.
He does. Fantastic.
Yeah. Pan's Labyrinth, fucking so good. Hellboy 2 was pretty good. I like Ron Perlman. You know, good stuff.
Man, I think that's about all I got.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to VHS 99, I guess, but
And Halloween drops this Friday.
yeah, we'll see how that goes. You're not feeling super positive on that, are you?
No, but I'm still gonna watch it. I'll watch them all.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, I can't not. So I guess recently they announced a Grinch horror movie
Yeah.
for the Christmas season. I'm so excited for that. I mean, it's gonna suck, but damn, am I gonna enjoy it? The Grinch is my favorite Christmas story.
So is the Grinch royalty free, or how they get around that?
That's a good point.
Because I know Winnie the Pooh, the character, just went royalty free, and that's how they got the horror movie that is in the works now, Honey and Blood.
It's probably cool. I don't know.
Because like the Grinch, I don't know who owns the Grinch character, but
I would assume like Paramount did. Maybe I'm wrong though. I don't know. I don't want to just. Oh my god! You know who's playing the Grinch in that movie?
Jim Carrey.
David Thornton, arts actor.
Oh man, plot twist.
That's gonna fucking slap, dude. That's gonna be so much better than I even thought. My wife's in the living room freaking out right now. I guarantee it. That's so exciting.
So Art and the Grinch share the same universe. You heard it here.
Terrifier is on the naughty list. Art is on the naughty list for sure. But him and the Grinch probably get along pretty well. So
yeah,
that's rad. I'm looking even more forward to that.
When's that come out?
I don't know. I don't even know if they've. Oh, it's called The Mean One. That's a good name too.
Yeah.
Sorry, we weren't more prepared. I forgot about this.
You come here wanting preparedness. You've come to the wrong place.
Yeah, I mean, we're streaming live. You're just watching this later. Man, I don't know. It just says 2022, which, I'm going to assume probably late November.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it'll be out in a month or two, and that'll be a fun one to talk about.
Is going to be in it. Those are really the only names I recognize, I think. Yeah. Damn, that's going to be good. Yeah. Well, no, it's not. But I'm looking forward to it a lot. Did you see the screenshot of the Grinch character?
I did.
Looks pretty spooky. Who's Cindy Lou? Oh, okay, that's how they're getting around it. He's not called the Grinch. He's just called the Mean One, and she's just Cindy.
Aha, okay.
So that's wild. But I'm glad they can get away with it. But I'm surprised they can. Yeah, I guess that's episode transmission 2. Episode transmission 2.
Yeah. And that's where we'll wrap it up.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Feel free to hit us up with any questions, gripes, complaint. We don't care. We'll chat with you.
Tell us how bad our opinions are.
Yeah.
Recommendations, anything like that. We're down.
All right. You'll have a good night and stay spooky.
Bye.